What's up, everybody? A Spare with a Gun here from Sleepless Nights with another episode on Space Engineers Programming 101. When we left off in the last episode, we were working on an inventory manager script. That is not done by any means. That was actually very basic and not at all having near the functionality I wanted in a finished product. So don't lose heart, we will return to that. However, in the interim week between that episode and this, there has been an update which added oxygen. It's these three blocks. It's an oxygen generator, an oxygen tank, and an oxygen vent which is inside this room. So I'm going to kind of assume that you understand how this works. If not, I would encourage you to go watch the update video that you put ice in the generator, stores it in the tank, blows it out through the vent, so on and so forth. Now, you need a sealed room for this to work, and the setting has to be enabled in your world. Take note of that, because I was derping around for like 20 minutes with this structure, and I'm like, this is sealed. Why is it not working? Yeah, didn't have oxygen enabled. Also note, if you change it, because of the way that the world gen works now, it is permanent, so any asteroids that have yet to be generated in your world will add ice to them, but you can't reverse it once you add it, so just keep that in mind. So basically the way this works is we have a pseudo airlock type system. Actually, for this to be a true airlock, we're going to need to seal this room off as well. I didn't think about that. My bad. I've got it actually inverted so we can see from the outside how it works. As I figured that would be more useful than having to be inside the thing. Okay, so what we need to do is basically... I don't know if this is going to work or not. Crap. I don't know if this is going to work or not. Because, again, the simple combo blocks from Medieval Engineers would fix this entire thing. You know what? This... Oh, crap. Leak. See, that was not good. See, when I opened that, this turned yellow and started leaking. So that's very important. That's kind of the whole principle to an airlock, is that it has to be locked. So, I'll tell you what we're going to do. We're going to just place a block there. And so that area, since this is more about programming than the, actual function. And see how this is like yellow? So now it's leaking air. Now it's sealed. So this way, when we open this, nothing happens, right? Unless this is open. Vacuum, oh no! My eyeballs could have been sucked from their sockets. So one of the things that you'll notice is these color indicators display what kind of system is going on. There's a depressurize option, which I'm still working on trying to access, and then this is the detailed information for an air vent. The air vent is the most important one for the script that we're going to try and do today. The oxygen generator has also this detailed information and works kind of like like an assembler or anything else. And the tank works more like a battery of how much it's filled, blah, 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 blah. And you can turn this on or off. If you have, if you're using the no helmet setup, it's going to cause problems if it's not sealed and pressurized. Okay, so the basic idea here is an airlock. So assume this is the rest of the ship that's pressurized, right? Normally it would just keep going, but because of the building structure I have set up, it doesn't work that way. So just assume that this is the rest of your ship, or station. So what we want to do is have it to where, if... I'm trying to figure out how I want to do this, but basically we want airlock functionality. So you can't open this door if this door is open and the room is pressurized, right? If this door is closed and then, or if you try and open this door, then this door will shut, this will depressurize, then this door will open. Something along those lines is kind of what I'm looking for. And we can keep working with this as we get ideas, but essentially what I want to happen is if you walk up and click this button, this door is open and the room is depressurized, then it's going to seal this door, pressurize the room, then open the door, and then you can walk in. If you try and open this door, then this will seal, this will depressurize, then the door will open, etc., etc. That's kind of what I want to do. Will it work that way? I'm not sure. It may be more manual than that, but I want to try and make it that way. Now, first off, these are new blocks, so it means they're very, very raw in their coding. So this is what I've been able to capture so far, and that's using this script. So what I did here was I used the text panel, hooked it into LCD02 display, which is what I have this named. I have 3 strings, one for vent, generator, and tank, that are blank. Originally this was done as my terminal blocks, like this, because that's the basic building block for every block in the game. So even though it won't see it as a vent, you could still access it that way. Then recently, the other day, they updated it to where now it's my air vent, my oxygen generator, and my oxygen tank. Now they don't really seem to do anything different, so that's important. And then I have vent, gen, and tank all set up to be pulled in by the name of the block. And then I have the string holds the detailed info. And then I made 3 terminal action lists, which is V actions. Now I'm still experimenting with this. I've never really used these before. And then vent.get actions and then load it into the list. Gives you the actions for that block. String V acts. I put it this way because when I did it this way, the code didn't like it for some reason, so I split them into 3 lines. And then it just loops through and makes adds to the string an action, and then it turns it to a string and then adds a new line, so it'll just fill up the lines with the actions that it has. Then I have display the detailed info for the vent and the axe, and then spacing, obviously, details for the generator and the axe, and details for the tank and the axe, and then it updates the visual. So that's all that does. It was basic code just to see what was going on. And it gives you this. So we see the type that says air vent, max required input, and the room pressure. That'll be important. Below that, though, you'll notice that the actions are weird. All of these are very strange looking. I'm not sure if that's because it doesn't have any actions in the code right now, if it's just script, or if it has to do with making it do a 2-string. I'm not sure. And all these kind of work the same way. Oxygen generator, max required input as the detailed. Then we get these 4 really jumbled actions. Filled, max required input, and then these really jumbled actions. So what I'm going to do first is I'm going to play around a little bit with the get actions command and see if I can't find a way for it to actually display these actions, or if they're there at all, or if they're just basic functions. If not, then we're just going to have to work with some of the string info and rig it from there. I'm also going to have to work with the doors as well. Let me go ahead and get the door info. What do we have? Door 1 and door 2. I thought I had to replace them before. Let's rename... let's open that. Okay, so that's door 1. We're going to rename to... we'll close it. We'll name this inner door. And we'll name this outer door. And that might change by the time we're done with this, but we need it to be uniquely identified. Alright, so let me derp around with this a minute, and then I'll see you guys in a second. Okay, so progress has been made. We were able to basically figure out how this works. So instead of, when we run the code here, instead of doing the actions at index toString, type in name, or .name, instead of .toString. This will give you the name of the action. So we do have toggle block on and off, toggle block on, toggle block off, and depressurize on off. And for the oxygen generator, we have the same top three and use conveyor system. I believe that's for the ice, because when you go in here, there's like ice in here. Now, I don't think it actually needs the ice in this mode because it's whatever, creative. And the tank has the same three except for a stockpile option. Now, the stockpile option is pretty much like, it's basically like the batteries, that when you tell it to stockpile, the generator will pump air into it, but if the vent isn't using it, then it will just store it. Or if you don't want there to be air in a room, but you want it to make air, it'll make oxygen, store it in here, but it won't go through the vent even if the vent's on, if this is set to stockpile. So those are two mechanics we're going to be working with. But the biggest thing that I see, because I'm not super worried about this in terms of, oh, make sure there's ice and the generator's on and all that crap. What I really want is an airlock system that has to do with pressurizing. The rest of it I'm kind of leaving up to whoever's using the script. At the moment, like all of my scripts, they're always subject to be modified. So the biggest things we're looking for is the room pressure, depressurize, maybe the stockpile. Now, I want to add another code to this real quick. And what I'm going to do is, first off, let me see if I can do this on my door. I don't know if this will work or not. And we'll put this as iDoor. And my door, O-door. O-door. Check that. Okay, so it worked, I think. Maybe. Hopefully. iDoor equals, let's see if we can get this to work. my door. Grid. Terminal system. Get block with name. What did we say was? Inner door. Check that. Sweet. I think we're doing good. O-door. I'm actually just gonna copy this whole thing and then just put in outer door here, because that's really the only difference. Oh, and one other thing before we actually do all of this stuff. Now, I'm only gonna do one list of action, because these action lists are gonna go away when we're actually getting into the script part, so list terminal action. I thought it was my terminal action, whatever. And then we'll do door actions dot get actions. Oh wait, no. No. Let's just use the inner door. Get actions, and then we'll put that in the actions list. There we go. Okay, let's do another loop. int I equals 0, I is less than door actions count, I plus, I could never hit that button. And let's do, oh, I need a string as well. So string dx. And we'll put in, let's see, how will this go? dx plus equals door actions dot I dot name plus. So that's that gives you a good idea of how to, and I'm just going to add this to being append, and copy this, and we're just going to put a new line in at the top. Whoa, what the? Really? How do I redo? There we go. Whew! That scared me. I was like, don't make me do that all over again. Okay. And then we'll just do display write public text deacts false. You know what? Let's also then take deacts. I'm just gonna use this string because, like I said, all this is gonna go away in a little bit anyway. Detailed info, and we're gonna do another write line of deacts, and we'll just make this true. Only thing here is let's add a new line to it, and that should be good. Compiled successfully. Good. Now the other thing is we're gonna have to make sure these doors are set to you, or me in this instance. Otherwise it won't be able to create an instance of the object. Perfect. So we have toggle block on, off, on, off, open, closed, and then I'm guessing the detailed info is open, closed. Let's add another line to this so that we can be sure where it separates. Or it has no detailed info. That's possible too, I suppose. Yeah, it must not have any detailed info. Maybe. Let me just make sure. Tell you what, let's add a couple of dashes. See what it's bringing up. Okay, so there is no detailed info apparently on the door. So those are all actions, I guess, then. Alright, so we needed the actions, the doors, and we need... the part I don't know is how to catch if something's trying to open it. That's the only thing. So we're going to experiment with this a little bit. But let me figure out exactly how to get all of the string data that I need out of the detailed info. We're going to clean up this code a little bit to get rid of some of the actions that we don't need, so on and so forth, and I will be back in a second. Whew, okay, so I'm back. It's actually been quite a while, probably a couple of hours. Might be wondering what this is about. I think I've got all the data that we need. Now, there is a bit of a drawback or a problem, and that is I don't know, and if any of you find this out, I'm more than happy to update my script for it, but I don't know of a way to find if the door is attempted to being opened. If I didn't word that right. If the door is being attempted. If the state of the door is changing. Good lord, it is getting very late where I am. So that's part of the problem, is I'm kind of getting tired here. So if I start making mistakes or something, that's my bad. But yeah, so I don't have a good way to test if, like, you push the button and it's set to be opened. Because, I mean, obviously when we do this kind of stuff, it, you know, in-game, it happens very fast. You know, if I put a door down here, and I just walk over and go, click, it opens. But in computer terms, me hitting the T button on there is like flagging it to be opened, and then it has to process and, you know, check, is it closed, whatever, all that good stuff. So I haven't found... There is some really complex codes that I've seen that get into the, like, super nitty-gritty, deep API stuff. Like, it pulls a lot of information. Anyway, short version is, unless you guys can find out on the interwebs, and send me a comment or something and go, oh, this thread said that this is how you access the door state or something, I'm gonna have to try and jury-rig it with if the door is open. Like if you click on it and it is like open type of thing. I don't know. That's the best that I'll probably be able to pull off, I think. Or check... Ooh! Maybe I can check before it's even a thing. Like, for instance, that you check if door toggle or something like that. Something along those lines. No, that's toggle on and off, isn't it? Anyways, let's get to coding. So, I finally figured out how to access... This is more for you guys here. I'm going to take this pressure code out, because it didn't end up working the way that I wanted it to. So this is kind of sloppy, the position's off and everything, but this is essentially what's going down. So here we define V as vents detailed info. And I've commented out, and I think for this script, I'm just going to go ahead and remove it. I don't think we're going to work with this script. I went ahead and removed the generator, and that was the tank, because this isn't really about testing whether the tank's full or anything like that. We're looking for pretty much pressure. That's all we're really caring about. So I've got some stubs set up here, like get door status, get pressure, get tank status. We can take out right to screen if there is anything. That will probably be for this, so we can see what status is or what. So what we're doing here is the detailed info, and then I'm substringing to the 60th character, which the detailed info I copy-pasted into a character calculator thing, actually like a Word document, and it told me how many characters there were. And 60 brings us right to the number. It's like where you have room, pressure, colon, space, and then 100%. That's where 59 would be the space, or 60 would be the space. I'm not really sure exactly, but it's basically right at where the number is. So we're pulling the percentage only, and we're refilling it back into V, or reassigning it, so it's going to basically overwrite the rest of the detailed info, so V will just be our percentage that we need. Then, if we're wanting to do calculations, this is kind of a not sure how I want to do this part yet, but the removing the percent sign is we use the string command remove, put the same string in there, .length -1, because the percentage is always the last character. And so what I was testing here was what happens if you have a different percentage than 100%. Would this still work, is what I'm basically testing at this point. Which I should have these in right to screen, but whatever. So I went and made two dummy strings. V2 is 10% and then 1%, and did a remove at .length -1 to see if this would always work, basically. And then we have all that, so that should work fine. And then if we run it, you get 100, 10, and 1. So this is useful if we want to parse the data back into... Oh, now hold on a minute. Oh, okay, I did that wrong. I put 1 decimal point, it has it as 2. Not that that's a big deal, but just for accuracy. Perfect. So that's important for checking where the status of the room pressure is. The other thing I want to check is, let's get rid of this code and make this detailed vent detailed info again. And then we'll get rid of this line. Okay? Does that work? Okay. Now what I want to do, remember changes, is I want to... Let's just open the door. And that should depressurize the room. And there we go. now, not pressurized. That's kind of what I was afraid of. So let's run this and see what happens here. Where's my program? Program. There we go. Run that. Not pressurized. Oh. Huh. Oh, because the placement's the same. Hello. Okay, so that actually ends up working beautifully. Alright, so let's modify this strings command right here real quick. And we're going to do... Let's put this in an if block. If the... I think I can space this. Maybe not. Let's do this. V dot contains not pressurized. If that's equal to true. Or wait, no, if it doesn't contain. There we go. Oops. Something like this. Put that in the curly braces. Let's see how that does. So run this. Did I spell that wrong? I must have spelled it wrong. Theoretically, that should work. I did. So there's no P. Or no capital P, apparently. There we go. So, essentially what we just did... And let's test this one more time, make sure it runs right. Pressurizing. This will probably just run in a second, and... Oh, it already did. Alright. Beautiful. So what that basically did is it lets us check for... remove %sign if present. And that's, yeah, pull the percentage is fine, I guess. So this will get the percentage, but then if it contains not pressurized, then there is no numbers, so we don't want to cut the last detail off. Yeah, that works. Alright, we don't really need a write to string right now, so let's clean up this code a little bit. I'm actually, since this string is probably going to stay here, I'm going to go ahead and fix this to where it looks better. Just because sloppy coding is kind of a pet peeve of mine. I hate it. That should compile correctly. Alright, cool. Okay, so that's getting the percentage data. We need to get the door statuses. How we're gonna do that, I'm still a little unsure of. I guess we'll have to check if they're open or not. So, here's what I'm gonna do. Let's try this. Let's just test this a minute. If iDoor dot open, or no, outer door. I want the outer door. ODoor open. That's a value, I think. I've never really worked with doors that much, so I'm not really sure how these work. So basically, what I want to do is if the door is open, I want to close. Let's see if that even compiles right, if I did the syntax right. I did not. Sandbox my entity used in main not allowed. Okay, so let me derp around with this and see if I can figure out how to get this to connect properly. It's times like this that remind me that this game is in an alpha. Because this is a kind of very strange API setup. So, check this out. So here's what I've got so far. We got our text panel, we got an air vent. I took the tank and stuff out entirely. We got the 2 doors. I added 3 terminal actions so that we can call them at any time because of how the system is set up, and then a string for the vent details. So we have open, close, depressurize. Now in the instantiate we add the display, the vent, depressurize equals vent, which we just made here, dot get action with a name, depressurize. From looking at the detailed info we know that that exists. I door, O door equals the 2 doors. Now this is interesting because being that it's just a door, like an I my door, it doesn't matter which door we pull from, we just need to get the action names. So I have open and close for open and closed. This is going to go away, and I'll show you why in a second. Then we have the detailed info. Then we're on to the main code. I moved the pressure details up here because we're going to use that later for what it's equal to. Again, we have this if V contains, or if it doesn't contain not pressurized, remove the percentage symbol. Now, I added this just because it's already testing for stuff. So, basically, how did I have this set up? Not, if it contains not pressurized. Okay, so because I had the door open, it wasn't going to repressurize. So I was able to just test this out. This works. If you put depressurize.apply to vent, it will toggle, I'm going to remember that, it will toggle this, which is important because that's how we're going to remove the air setup, right? Because, okay, here's the thing that I wasn't quite understanding. I was like, what's the point of this if when I open this, it's just going to vent the air anyway? The thing is, in a real game mode, from my understanding, I could be completely wrong, but if the oxygen is pumping out of the tank and into the vent, then it's basically going to just keep blowing it out and you're going to keep losing oxygen. That's what I understand. So that's the whole point of this, is it depressurizes before it pulls the air in the room back into the tank before you open it, so you don't just keep losing air. That's how I understand this. If I'm doing it wrong, my bad. And also let me know in the comments, for people that have derped around more with oxygen, if I'm going to have to set the tank mode to fill, I'm going to have to add the tank back in, which isn't a problem, but just keep that in mind. So that's what that does, is it basically marks it for, I want to depressurize it, then open the door. Right? Right. Good. Okay. So we're also going to have to check for... Oh no, we can check for the not pressurized. That's right. Never mind. Scratch that. So we don't really need this line in here anymore, but this is how you would apply, if it's not pressurized it. Blah, blah, blah. You know what I mean. So let's get rid of this. We're going to do that in the door section. So now we come to the weird part. Alright? So when I had if door is open, close.apply door, watch what happens. Close. Check the code. It compiles, everything's fine, and the door, I believe I left it open. So it is, let's open this. So it is open. Okay, now watch what happens, because this is weird. Caught exception. During exception of script, object reference not set to an instance of an object. This took me probably 20 minutes to figure out what the heck was going on, and then I caught on to something. Open is named incorrectly. It's the toggle function. So watch what happens when I change this to open. Right? So now if you're following along with the logic of the code, if the door is open, you're basically opening the door, which doesn't make any sense. Otherwise, if the door is closed, you open the door, right? That's what this if sequence would look like, but no. What it's saying is if the door is open, toggle it open or close it. This is really weird. So we're going to compile it. So the door is open, so theoretically it shouldn't do anything. Yet you heard it. Oh! Door's open. Door's closed. Oh, door's open again. So open apply to the door will open it and close it, which is very weird. So we don't need this at all. This was actually causing a problem because there is no function or action with that name that it can find. Really weird way to word everything. Toggle would probably make more sense. I don't know. I guess there is that open-closed function. Actually, let me try that. Let me see if this works. I'm curious now. Nope. Nope. It doesn't like that either. So, I don't know exactly how they have this set up, but open will toggle it. But keep in mind, actually, I'm even going to rename this. I'm actually going to rename this to toggle. Because that's just going to cause problems for me later. Okay, now let's make sure... Yep, okay, good. Now we need to get into the logic. I know. Sorry about this taking so freaking long, but it's just... Well, I guess it really isn't as long as it sounds in my head, so... Okay, what we need to do is if the outer door is open... Now, here's my thing. Here's my thing. We need to, like, the way I'm trying to explain this is basically if the person pushes the button, right? It needs to open or toggle. I'm glad I changed that. So toggle, apply, and this is how you, when you have an iMyTerminal action, this is how you apply it. It's the action.apply. Sorry, I really didn't explain any of that either, did I? And then the block that you want to apply it to. This is also how you get these actions, is once an item is instantiated with something from the terminal, then you call it get action with name, or you do a list and you get actions and it puts it in the iMyTerminal action, so on and so forth. And then you can apply them. So we're going to toggle the door back again. It's going to close it. Right? Oh, we need to also add... Let's try and do this. And v.contains... Actually, you know what? I might even cut this out entirely, because we can use the percentage symbol. Percentage. So if you're trying to open the door, if it's set to open, and it contains a percentage symbol, aka there's air in the room, we're going to toggle the door so it closes it again. Theoretically. Again, I don't know if this will work or not. We're going to try it. And then we need to call depressurize dot apply to vent. And then I'm trying to think of how to loop through this. Oh, I could do a while loop. Let's try that. While v.contains percentage, we're basically going to do nothing. Or I guess we'll say wait for depressurization. Make it sound all legit. Okay, and then the door is depressurized, so we'll toggle apply outer door. Right? Oh, wait, line 60. Wait, what the? There is no line 60. What is your major malfunction? While true? Oh, do while. Maybe I got that wrong. Do while. Does that work? No. What is it expecting? I don't understand this. Let's comment this out. See if it compiles. I'm pretty sure this is where it's getting hung up. Yeah. So, why you no work? How about... I guess maybe it has to be broken up for this to work? Oh, whoa. Oh, huh. Maybe it would help if I spelled that right. Okay, let's try while... I don't know if this will work or not. 47... What is it expecting a comma for? Oh! I'm an idiot. I didn't close the parentheses. Wow. Derp burp burp. Let's try it. I don't know if this will actually work or not. So, here's what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna close the door, and we can see that the blue represents that it's set to depressurize. Without it, then it goes to green. And you can see the air flow through. Okay. So now what we're gonna do... Oh, you know what? I'm gonna have to set this timer block to make it run all the time. Because otherwise it's not gonna be able to catch the door. Okay, so theoretically it's running. I hope. So we have the green. Now what should happen, if I did this right, is as soon as I click this, it should close, and this should depressurize, then open. Cross your fingers. Okay, that's not exactly what I meant. Okay, so that didn't work like at all. Okay. It's possible that this might have messed it up. Maybe? Let's try this. Let's try this. No, that won't. Well, okay, here's an idea. Let's try this to see if our logic makes sense. Okay? But before we do that, it hasn't recompiled. I want to turn this off so that we can run it on our terms. So this is set. Okay, now I'm going to recompile it. Oops. Okay. Closed. Don't mark that. Okay. Now what I'm going to do is go into here and run the script. Which it did not seem to do anything. See, that's weird, because theoretically, if it's not equal... If it's not equal to open, and it contains a percentage, which it should, because of this. I did comment out the removal, right? Yes. Okay, so... It's probably this part that it's not working. If not open, toggle apply to door. Oh. If not open, so it's already closed. Let's comment that out and see what happens if we run it now. Oops. Because that might have been doing what I wanted it to do, actually. Script execution terminated. Script is too complex. What? It wasn't complex before I did this. Now it's too complex. Okay. Tell you what. It's probably this. I'm betting it's this. But I don't know of a good way to make it pause while it depressurizes. So let's see if that works. Okay, now you are not marked for... Dang nabbit, this is not working at all. Okay, I was expecting this to go a lot better. Yeah. So, Interesting. Interesting. We've got everything hooked up. Now it's getting the logic down. So I think I'm gonna actually call it this episode. I know that we didn't actually get anything productive done, per se. I was kind of hoping to, but I'm gonna have to work on it a bit more. So I apologize for this being a long video and not really actually getting anything done, but it just wouldn't cooperate. So let me know what you guys think. If you've seen other people that have had issues with it and might understand or know where I might have gone wrong, do let me know. If you find forums or anything that talk about things, feel free to post them. Doesn't matter to me. I'm open to suggestions. There has to be a way to make this work. The question will be, how manual is it? Like, if you push a button to run a script, is it going to do what it needs to do? All that kind of stuff. Those kinds of things. So let me know what you guys think. In the meantime, I hope you all enjoyed. If you did, leave a like, and I will see you all next time. Peace.